Well, hello and welcome to In Depth, the show that gives you a comprehensive view on a subject or an issue. I'm your host, Frank Pereira. Today, we are turning our focus on the air travel initiative UDAN, a step that is intended to make air travel accessible to the common man by making it not only cheaper, but also reaching out to areas and regions that have been ignored till now. Well, domestic airline travel registered a growth of over 20% in January this year. Over 1.14 crore passengers travelled by air, up from 95 lakh in the corresponding period last year. India is likely to become the third largest aviation market in the world by 2020 after US and China. It's against this backdrop that the government has introduced its regional connectivity scheme, which promises to exponentially expand air travel in India. But there are still some challenges to overcome. Here's a detailed report.
By giving the green signal to the regional connectivity scheme UDAN, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has tried to give a new momentum to India's aviation sector. The primary purpose of UDAN, or Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagarik, is to increase air connectivity between unserved and underserved airports. The scheme exempts airline companies from paying landing charges in the 2- and 3-tier cities. They also get subsidy to compensate for losses under the VGF or the viability gap funding provision.
छोटे-छोटे हवाई अड्डों से लोग सीधे विदेश जाते हैं। उदाहरण के लिए आप लखनऊ से सिंगापुर सीधे जा सकते हो, लखनऊ से दुबई सीधे जा सकते हो, बिहार पटना से सीधे उड़ के आप दुबई जा सकते हो।
In the first phase, 5 airline operators, Alliance Air, SpiceJet, Turbo Mega, Air Odisha and Air Deccan won bids to operate on 128 routes. Airfare for distances up to 500 kilometers or 1 hour of journey is capped at 2,500 rupees for half of the seats in fixed-wing aircrafts. For helicopters, a 30-minute ride under the scheme costs 2,500 rupees and for over 1 hour duration, the cap is 5,000 rupees.
We will connect 29 unserved airports, 13 underserved airports to 36 served airports and 31 helipads. Till this first time, helicopters are also coming under UDAN.
3 initial flights were launched under UDAN in Shimla, Delhi, Kadapa, Hyderabad and Nanded, Hyderabad routes in April last year. Proposed routes included Nanded, Mumbai, Chennai, Salem, Mumbai, Porbandar, Kolkata, Aizawl, Pune, Nashik, Delhi, Dehradun and Ranchi, Raipur, among others. Experts call the scheme a major step in the present aviation policy, but they are also wary of the risks that come with the subsidy-based scheme. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, for the past 2 years, government has been pushing for better coordination in transport system. Development of water transport and air services has been the priority in this regard. The government estimates that the cost of connecting the country with a network of roads, airports, railways, ports and inland waterways requires 50 lakh crore rupees. The government allocated 5.97 lakh crore rupees for basic infrastructure in the General Budget 2018-19. Ever since the inclusion of railway budget in the general budget, the transport sector is trying to evolve 2 things: coordination and balance. By bringing the entire transport sector under a single umbrella, the government is focusing on a strategy to build coordination and integration among all the modes of transport while trying to foster new partnerships.
आज वक्त ऐसा बदल चुका है कि जैसे आप बस की लाइन में लोगों को देखते हैं, अगर एयरपोर्ट पर जाएं, लंबी कतार में लोग खड़े हैं जहाज में चढ़ने के लिए, और ये दिन भर हिंदुस्तान के कई एयरपोर्ट पर आपको देखने को मिलेगा.
India is a vast country with distinct geographical conditions. Large sections of its population are yet to witness development. The country needs a transport system that's not moderately priced and does not burden the common man's pocket excessively. Our transport system is a combination of railways, highways, inland waterways, coastal shipping and airways. Since 2014, the government has taken up several initiatives that have transformed the transport sector.
संभावनाएं बहुत हैं। भारत के टूरिज्म को भी बढ़ाना है। भारत इतना विविधताओं से भरा देश है, अगर प्रॉपर कनेक्टिविटी मिल जाए तो दुनिया के लोग एक जिले में अगर महीना भी निकाल दें तो भी शायद पूरा देख करके नहीं जा सकते। इतनी विविधताओं से भरा हुआ हमारा देश है।
Outlining his vision of a new India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi placed emphasis on coordination among the means of transport. In this context, upgrades in infrastructure are being envisaged in railways, highways, waterways and airways. New avenues are also being developed for air transport. Under the National Air Transport Policy, 70 small cities across the country are being connected with the UDAN scheme. Post-independence, only 76 airports were allowed to operate commercial flights. But within 15 months of the UDAN scheme, work has begun to connect 56 airports and 31 helipads across the country. The government intends to ensure a better coordination between rail, road and water transport in the future, while also focusing on the various challenges of the transport sector. Arvind Kumar Singh for Rajya Sabha Television. Well, India has shown remarkable progress in the sphere of civil aviation. Today, India is the third largest domestic aviation market. In the next decade, India is aiming to become the largest international aviation market. So, what are the factors that have propelled our aviation industry to a high? Let's find out.
A few years ago, air travel was a luxury, quite out of reach for the common man. It's not so anymore. The introduction of several domestic and international flights, easier systems to book tickets has made air travel not just affordable, but in many cases a preferable mode of travel for the middle class. The Airports Authority of India reports an increase of 11.46% in the number of air travels in 2016-17. Domestic travellers increased 22% in 2017 compared to 21.24% in 2016. The number of people flying to and from India saw an increase of 8.33% in 2016-17. In the January-February 2017 period, domestic airlines carried 182.34 lakh passengers as against 151.31 lakh in the corresponding period of 2016, thereby registering a growth of 20.51%. For the first time, the number of domestic travellers crossed 10 crore. The Civil Aviation Ministry says in 2017, domestic passengers totaled 11 crore 71 lakh 76,000 passengers. The figure was 9 crore 98 lakh 88,000 in 2016.
कि लोग जल्दी से जल्दी पहुंचना चाहते हैं, सरफेस और रेल ट्रैवल में ज्यादा वक्त नहीं गंवाना चाहते, और अगर परिवार के साथ घूमने निकले हैं तो इरादा ये रहता है कि सबके साथ जहां भी जा रहे हो घूम सको, और अगर सिर्फ परिवार के पास वापस जा रहे हो, अपने गांव वापस जा रहे हो, तो इरादा ये रहता है कि जल्दी से जल्दी पहुंच जाओ, रेल में ज्यादा वक्त न बिताओ या रोड में ज्यादा वक्त न बिताओ.
There are many reasons for this surge in the number of air travellers. A dip in airfares, less travel time, increasing number of airlines, growing competitiveness among them, increase in people's spending capacity, hike in rail fares, new airports in small towns, and enhanced air connectivity have all contributed to making more people prefer air travel.
इंटरनेट की दुनिया में है, हम आज टेलीकॉम की दुनिया में हैं, और बिजनेस में जितना से जल्दी काम होगा उतना ही रोटेशन बढ़ेगा और उतने ही बिजनेस में प्रगति होगी. तो इस मामले में एयर ट्रैवल सबसे सूटेबल है, ये मैं जरूर कहूंगा बार बार, और इसके लिए बिजनेसमैन थोड़ा ज्यादा पैसा खर्च करने को तैयार हैं.
Domestic air traffic has shown a consistent growth of 15 to 20% over the last few years. India is now the third largest aviation market in terms of domestic traffic, behind the US and China. But there is still a lot of scope for expansion in the sector, since a majority of Indians still prefer to travel by road. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, an efficient aviation sector is important for any country. primarily because it is interlinked with other sectors in the economy and generates income and employment through global commerce and tourism. The Indian aviation sector too has seen phenomenal growth over the years. In fact, the Indian aviation industry is the most rapidly growing aviation sector of the world. The civil aviation industry has ushered in a new era of expansion, driven as it is by factors like low-cost carriers, modern airports, FDI in domestic airlines, advanced IT interventions and growing emphasis on regional connectivity.
Delhi's busy Indira Gandhi International Airport, trying to cope with the steady rise in air traffic, aircraft movement, cargo movement and the growing number of passengers. Not just the international airports of Delhi and Mumbai, this is the story of India's remote and far-flung airports. The rapid growth in air traffic is the result of the government's efforts to expand the aviation market and air connectivity. These are the signs of how India is tapping into the huge potential of the aviation sector.
उसका सबसे बड़ा जो उसको बेनिफिट है वो ये कि वो अपने परिवार के साथ ज्यादा रह सकता है। लोग साल भर कमा के छुट्टी में जाना चाहते हैं और हवाई रास्ता सबसे सुलभ रास्ता होता है, भले सबसे सस्ता न हो लेकिन सबसे सुलभ रास्ता होता है।
Just 1 month's figures released by the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, the civil aviation regulator, puts the entire picture in perspective. In December 2017, domestic air traffic rose 17.69% year-on-year. At 11.24 million passengers, air travelers went up from 9.55 million a year. For the entire 2017 period, domestic airlines carried 117.1 million passengers as against 99.89 million in the corresponding period in 2016. In December 2017, India had 548 aircraft. It is expected to increase the fleet to 920 by 2025. Not just that, flying has actually become much cheaper in the last few years. Average airfare has fallen, not only among the state-owned and low-cost carriers, but also companies giving premium aviation services.
Indigo has ordered 50 ATRs to take advantage of Udan, and SpiceJet has also ordered 50 Q400s to take advantage of this. And this is telling you that Udan will continue to see lots and lots of flights being added, not just in Udan Round 2, but in Udan Round 3 and 4 as these ATRs and Q400s start coming in. So this really tells us that we are going to continue to see tremendous momentum as far as regional connectivity is concerned.
India's aviation industry is largely untapped, which means huge growth opportunities in the sector. Experts estimate that with the ongoing push that the government is trying to impart, the coming 20 years could see Indian companies buying as many as 2,100 new planes. The unprecedented airlines capacity induction could see the domestic air traffic crossing 150 million in financial year 2019. Similarly, India is estimated to see an investment of $25 billion in the next decade in the airport sector. Recently, in its second round of regional connectivity scheme, the government awarded 325 routes to airlines in order to take flight services to hilly and remote areas. At the same time, airport building and modernization projects worth over 19,300 crore rupees were cleared. These initiatives are not only expected to boost India's civil aviation industry, but also promote healthy competition. And with the right policies, India could be well placed to achieve its vision of becoming the third largest aviation market by 2025. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, it's time for a short break now, but the program will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
India and Bhutan are celebrating 50 years of diplomatic relations in 2018.
India and Bhutan provide a certain exception because the relationship has been, in both narratives, mutually beneficial and one based on a large element of trust.
This is a very different Bhutan, and it is a constitutional monarchy. and hence they have the right to explain what they want to do.
14 countries who are neighbors to China. Only with Bhutan they don't have a diplomatic relation.
Is Palestine always packed with bombs and smoke? Is there any life in Palestine other than fight? How common villagers in Palestine are living? What does future hold for them? Watch our special report from Ground Zero on life in a Palestinian village, Tuesday 10 p.m, Wednesday 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. only on Rajya Sabha television.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
MC मैरी कॉम सफलतम भारतीय महिला मुक्केबाज, विश्व चैंपियनशिप में 5 स्वर्ण और 1 रजत, लंदन ओलंपिक्स में कांस्य और एशियन गेम्स में कांस्य पदक विजेता। 5 फीट 2 इंच लंबी मैरी को किया जाता है दुनिया की सफलतम महिला मुक्केबाजों में शुमार। खेलों में वरिष्ठ योगदान के लिए उन्हें मिले हैं पद्म भूषण, अर्जुन अवार्ड और राजीव गांधी खेल रत्न पुरस्कार।
Welcome back. You're watching In Depth on Rajya Sabha television. Well, the government is trying hard to ensure that air travel becomes the preferred mode of travel over trains. It believes that the expansion of the aviation sector will increase tourism, which in turn will boost employment avenues in the country. In fact, this is already a reality for many destinations in India, where air travel is cheaper than road and train, provided you plan your journey a few weeks in advance. Here's a report.
Tired of traffic jams? You could take a flight. Road travel or air travel are comparable, at least in terms of cost. That was the point Minister of State for Civil Aviation, Jayant Sinha, tried to drive home recently. Addressing the Indore Management Association's 27th International Management Conference this month, Sinha disclosed that air travel is cheaper than travel by auto rickshaws on a per-kilometer basis. Explaining his statement, Sinha said, air passengers these days spend only 5 rupees per kilometer on a flight from Indore to Delhi. But at the same time, an auto rickshaw ride in Indore costs 8 to 10 rupees per kilometer. Sinha's argument sums up in a nutshell how easy, accessible and cheaper air travel has become in India. This may of course not be true in times of excess demand for passenger seats, when you try to book at short notice, but if you book air tickets well in advance on busy routes, you could end up getting air tickets that are cheaper than a train or bus trip.
नहीं, प्रतिस्पर्धा तो आई है। प्रतिस्पर्धा ये कहा जा रहा है कि रेलवेज और सरफेस ट्रैवल और एयर ट्रैवल में बड़ी प्रतिस्पर्धा है। ट्रेन में की बुकिंग आज आपको मिलने में भी अगर दूर जाना हो तो 4 दिन कम से कम लगते हैं। ये आशा की जाए कि 1 दिन पहले टिकट मिल जाएगी, ये संभव अभी भी नहीं है।
For instance, if you book a ticket from Delhi to Mumbai now for a trip, let's say April 3rd, 2018, then the first class ride on Rajdhani Express could cost you 4,760 rupees. The same trip by air could be cheap as 1,910 rupees. Similarly, for a travel between Delhi and Chennai, the first class fare of Tamil Nadu Express is 5,190 rupees on April 2, 2018, while the lowest airfare for a trip on the same day is only 2,297 rupees. Travel between Delhi and Hyderabad, the first class fare of 5PR Duronto Express on April 2, 2018 is 5,515 rupees, while the lowest airfare for the same date could be just 2,080 rupees. The same formula, however, doesn't apply for non-busy and shorter distance routes. For instance, if you book Kalka and then Shimla's toy train for a travel from Delhi to Shimla 2 months later, the fare will not be more than 1,000 rupees. The bus fare would also be 1,000 rupees, but in comparison, if you book a flight ticket for the same route, it turns out to be as much as 8,400 rupees. Similarly, if you travel from Delhi to Dehradun, the fare for Shatabdi chair car will be 710 rupees, while the lowest airfare for this trip will be about 2,000 rupees. For a travel from Delhi to Jaipur via double-decker train, the fare is 500 rupees. But if you have to go by flight, the fare will be 1,715 rupees.
एयरलाइन में भी इतना आसानी से नहीं मिल जाता. कुछ एयरलाइन में अगर आप बहुत तुरंत की टिकट चाहते हो तो ज्यादा किराया भरना पड़ता है, लोग इसमें हिचक जाते हैं. उसी तरह बस सर्विसेज भी जो है, इंटरस्टेट बस सर्विस जरूर चलाई जा रही हैं, एयर कंडीशन बसेस चलती हैं, लेकिन अभी भी उनका स्तर इस लेवल तक नहीं आ सका जिससे कि हम कह सके कि सब चीज सुचारू रूप से, सुरक्षित रूप से चल रही है. लेकिन तीनों में बदलाव देखा जा रहा है.
Clearly, on busy routes, both the aviation industry as well as the common man are on a win-win situation. As aviation industry is getting more profit and due to the competition, the common man is also being benefited. However, the situation is not same for the shorter routes. In fact, despite government's efforts, private airlines are not even interested in having services at many small airports. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, air services started in India during the British rule. The British needed it to regularly deliver mail. Post-independence, air services were nationalised and operated under the Indian Airlines Corporation. It was only after the sector was deregularised in 1990 that private entities entered the market. More airlines meant more competition, which allowed the aviation sector to expand. Let's take you through this journey of the aviation sector in India, and I'm going to leave you with this report.
18th February 1911, the day when commercial aviation took wing in India. The first commercial flight recorded in Indian history was from Allahabad to Naini, when 23-year-old Frenchman Henri Piquet travelled a distance of 10 kilometers on a Humber biplane and delivered about 6,500 letters. At the time, it was an impossible thought for common citizens to think of flying. But gradually, as the air sector expanded, air travel became affordable and over time the preferred mode of travel for many sections of the society.
वो अगर आप बंबई से दिल्ली के आना चाहें तो उन जहाजों में 6 से 8 घंटे लगते थे. आजकल आपको सिर्फ 1.5, पौने 2 या 2 घंटे लगते हैं. और उतरने के बाद नई सुविधाएं कर दी गई हैं जिससे पैसेंजर्स जहाजों से निकल के फुर्ती से एक से जगह दूसरी जगह चले जाते हैं.
The first aviation service was started by the British in India for airmail purposes. After a few years, Tata Airlines and the Indian National Airways started regular airmail services. They used single-engine planes for the purpose. In 1912, the first international flight to and from India was introduced on the London-Karachi-Delhi route with the collaboration of Indian State Air Services and UK-based Imperial Airways. The Indian Airlines were used by the British during the Second World War. After the end of the war in August 1945, government control ended and regular commercial services were restored. In 1947, the British government received 122 applications for new licenses. Tata Airlines changed its name to Air India, and along with the Indian National Airways, Air Services of India and 10 other companies were given temporary licenses. In March 1953, Parliament passed the Air Corporation Act. The country's industry was nationalised and the 8 domestic airlines operating independently at that time, Deccan Airways, Airways India, Bharat Airways, Himalayan Aviation, Kalinga Airlines, Indian National Airways, Air India and Air Services of India were merged into two government-owned entities. Indian Airlines focused on domestic routes while Air India took care of the international services.
अब उससे अब जेट जहाज हम उड़ाते हैं जो कि 800-900 किलोमीटर की रफ्तार में जाने की काबिलियत रखते हैं वो जहाज, और सेफ ट्रैवल हो गया है और लोगों को एक जगह जाने में इतनी अब तकलीफें नहीं होती। पहले जहाजों में वक्त ज्यादा लगता था। किसी जमाने में हम डकोटा जहाज उड़ाते थे भारतवर्ष में बड़ी मात्रा में।
Till the mid-1990s, government-owned airlines dominated the Indian aviation industry. It was only after the government adopted the open sky policy as well as other liberalization policies that the aviation sector in the country underwent a rapid transformation. East West Airlines was the first national-level private airline to operate after the government deregularized the civil aviation sector in 1991. In 1997, Air Deccan entered the market as a budget airline. Since then, a number of other airlines like Jet, Kingfisher, Sahara, SpiceJet, Indigo, Go Air, Vistara and Air Asia started their services. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.